So today's video is just a continuation of the series that I've been doing for the past couple of days. This is a Guilds of Ravnica sealed run, and we're now into part 4 of the series. I've done some deck building, we've played some games, we're currently 2-1, so let's go ahead and play some more, see if we can improve on our record, and hopefully earn some amazing cards for my collection. One of the reasons that I was doing this series and that I keep playing sealed is that I love the limited formats in Magic. They're my favorite to play, but I also just don't have that big of a collection. So we're trying to earn a collection as we go so that I can start playing more constructed, build some wacky decks, put them up on YouTube, and have a blast doing it. Now, this is a easy mulligan. It might be tempting to keep this because in theory, if we draw a land, we've got like 3 cards that we could play, but you don't keep on one land like this, so... Of course I say we don't keep on one land and then we get this. I'm more tempted to keep this because we're on the draw and we get the scry, so we do get a couple of shots at finding land, and we have a 1-drop. Man, I hate keeping on one land. But going down to 5 cards... Like, if you go down to 5 cards and you don't end up with 2 lands, then you've basically, like, thrown away the game. This is why I hate... This is, like, the toughest decision for me to make, right? Because if you get a 5-card hand with only 3 lands, or 2 lands, or whatever, then, like, great, but... Alright, don't try this at home, gang. We're gonna keep this. I would... not recommend doing this, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it for the YouTube. We're gonna say our healer's hawk is gonna carry us to victory. That is technically land, but not land, so that's gonna very much go to the bottom. We do get a slight benefit in that it looks like our opponent mulliganed as well. We're gonna pay the 2 life because we're hoping that our hawk will just earn it back for us. And now we wait. All right, so we don't get to play our 2-drop on curve, and by 2-drop I mean this, like if they play something meaty, but let's go ahead and get our attack in first. And then I guess we'll play this. Would have really been nice to rip a land because being able to start mentoring on the hawk would be even better. But the hawk did get our health back. Ew. That card has the potential to be very good against us. So with Convoke, we could go ahead and do this. We could also Convoke with this as well. So let's go ahead and start with the attack. We're not going to attack here anyway. And we have this to deal with pesky enchantments. So let's just go ahead and do this. Problem with this card is our Luminous Bonds doesn't do anything and our Justice Strike doesn't do anything. Well, we found a land. So we got that going for us, which is nice. We're gonna continue to poke with our healer's hawk. Maybe. So the problem here is, like, we could use a Justice Strike on that, but it doesn't do a whole lot for us. I would rather wait, I think, until we can mentor. So we're just gonna go ahead and go with no attacks here. We also, if we draw a land, can just Candlelight Vigil this, which helps a lot as well. Wouldn't shock me if they, yeah, just pass through here. Alright, so we found that. And now we have some interesting choices. We also have this to destroy a flying creature at some point. They have no red available, so they actually can't jumpstart this turn. So we're going to go ahead and attempt to get this down while we can. We're worried about counter spells. Yep, there's the Disdainful Stroke. I mean, we're making them use resources. Wow, and they have a Beacon Bolt on top of it. This card is proving to be incredibly problematic, as it usually does. The 5 health on that is monstrous. Wow, and they're just gonna take it out and make another flyer on top of it. The tables have turned, ladies and gentlemen. They have drastically turned away from us. So we have Justice Strike, and we have the Guild Mage. We need to do something here. Again, this can kill one of the flyers. Luminous Bonds could theoretically slow one down. Justice Strike could theoretically slow one down. We're going to play this either way. It's just a matter of, like, do we want to Justice Strike something? And we can do this at instant speed, so there's no reason to commit right now. So I guess we'll just go ahead and pass. We don't have anything that'll, like, sweepingly get rid of all of them, so that is a bit of a problem. I think we're going to pass for now. Rock Charger, not too much of a help. The problem with the Blade Instructor is it doesn't do a whole lot to help us out. This is at least a blocker for one of these. We're going to try to get this resolved. Now, they do have the ability to tap us down and make yet another flyer. But again, not much we can really do about that. Wow. Okay. We're not out of it, but it does not look great just because they have a critical mass of flyers. We have a lot of flyers in our deck, so in theory we could find blockers. But them being able to tap us down is also an issue. And we're already down to 7, and they have 5 in the air. And that is also exactly 0 help at the moment. So, in a last-ditch effort to slow them down, we'll kill one. Just because that prevents lethal. We could buy ourselves a turn. And we can no longer... Alright, so we are just going to lose. And that's fair. We had exactly 0 answers for the Mystic, and we had a really bad mulligan. So... that happens sometimes. I mean, hooray, we got a bunch of gold for it, but... Alright, we're gonna go play another game. Try to reverse our fortunes here. We are now 3-2. Every game from here on out is a must-win situation. The lack of land did represent a problem. It would have been nice. There were a few turns there. It would have been nice if we could have played more than 1 card per turn, but ultimately I'm not sure that it would have went much better. Yeah, this is a much better opener. And I say that just because we had no answer for the 1/5. The Luminous Bonds, unfortunately, does not stop the passive, and the 5 health meant our Justice Strike was doing nothing to it. So it's a bit of a weakness for our deck. Alright, picking up this Guild Mage is nice. If you can get this thing rolling, it is one of my favorite cards to play in Limited. It is just incredibly powerful. It provides a lot of flexibility because it can represent direct damage to your opponent, and it can represent stalling by tapping their creatures before they can attack, or the tap can sometimes lead to more damage, right? If they've got a blocker and you've got a worm or something, tapping down the blocker to push through with the worm can be incredibly beneficial, incredibly powerful as well. I'm going to go ahead and attack first. It's got first strike, so we win this exchange if they choose to block. And tempted to play this, but we actually have to kind of plan for anything to pop out with these multicolored lands. But we're gonna play this. This blocks here, so that's the reason I'm more motivated to play that than either of the 2/1s. Now you could argue that, you know, that doesn't matter as much, but all right, we're gonna go ahead and nuke that. That is a great use of our Justice Strike. They're tapped out, so we can develop a creature and then attack. Again, normally you're sequencing, you typically want to play things in your second main phase, but if they're tapped out, I'm just going to do it so that I have to push less buttons because I'm lazy. Okay. So we are all gaining some life here. Now, we could develop this and the Centaur just because of our Convoke options. We could also develop this and then still attack with these two because of being able to tap that down if we wanted to be more aggressive. But I really like developing the Centaur here. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And then we're going to develop the Centaur, and we'll tap down our Skyline and one of these. And we're going to say no attacks because of that 3/3. Alright. So this is currently +2 and provides Vigilance and Menace to whatever it equips because they do have 2 gates so far. Now, because of the Menace, it has to be blocked by 2 or more creatures. We're just going to go ahead and say no blocks. Now, how do we want to handle this? So on our end of things, I think what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and play this Beetle and give this the +1/+1, and then we're going to use this, as I was kind of talking about earlier, to tap this down. And then we're going to attack with our first strikers. We're going to leave this back because we do not have the mana to pay for the flying. But with them tapped out, these will survive any trades here. And this represents 5 damage, so... Now it is also worth noting that this has Menace and Vigilance, but it does not have First Strike. So we could double block with these into this if we wanted to. Now, they're going to do that and they get to there. I'm actually okay with that. Now, they can throw this glaive on something else. That's fine. But they'll have to pay for it next turn. Guildgate, it makes me a little sad. It comes into play tapped, so I can't utilize this quite this turn. Again, makes me a little bit sad. Does also mean at 6 that this will be alive here in the future as well. So we can save this to tap the lifelink creature. And then that would prevent this from triggering and him from gaining health. So I'm actually going to leave the guild gate open. Or the guild mage, excuse me, not the guild gate. I think attacking for 4 here is entirely reasonable. So when they get ready to progress to the attack phase, we can either tap this down, or if this goes somewhere else, we can just tap down wherever this goes as well. But they want to gain the health, so we're going to let that resolve. Now, they're moving to attackers. And we're going to go ahead and tap that down before they can declare it as an attacker. And then because it's in the attack phase, they will not be able to re-equip this, at least until after combat. So they'll get some damage through if they want to use those, but overall that's a net win for us. And if they attack with these and they don't have more follow-up plays, then they won't have blockers, and we represent lethal. So this is all around a pretty good turn for us. We're going to proceed to combat before playing the worm. Because we're going to swing with both of these. Now they essentially have to block these. If they let even one through, this represents lethal. But it looks like they're going to let one through. That is a mistake. So we're going to just gladly do 3 damage to each opponent and secure a victory. I mean, I suppose they could have gained health or something, but... Alright. Good to get a win. I like to end on a win. I like to stay positive. So we're up to 3-2 now. You know, the one loss, the very first loss, again, if you haven't seen that video, we got kind of steamrolled once their rares got up and kicking. And the other loss, we could not stop that menacing 1-5 making all those birdies. So hopefully we will win out. And we are in a must-win situation from here on out. That's going to be it for this video, though. So if you made it this far, I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.